Everybody to our RealBird hands-on workshop. We're glad we can have you here this fine Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. We do these webinar training sessions twice a month. We're glad to have you here. My name is Eric from Agent Web Coach. I'm a guest trainer, presenter on our presentation here today. I'm not by myself. I'm here with Gabe Gross, one of the owners and developers of RealBird. Good morning, Gabe. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. Here we are in California, where summer has come, and we're looking forward to springing forward and to hopefully more snow up in the mountains, which happened last week, and hopefully will happen this weekend. And then we have enough water to go for another year.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures from Lake Tahoe, and the people were riding in and out, and the snowbanks on either side were over 10 feet.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful skiing on last Friday and Monday. It was really nice.
I'm not a skier, but it seems like if it's that thick, you feel like you sink like a swimming pool, you sink to the bottom, but I guess not.
Yeah. Well,
and I know up there in Northern California is where you need the snow, so Southern California people can have water. I've learned that from being from Southern California. I'm up here in broadcasting today from northern Utah, where we had about 8 inches of snow last week, but most of it's melted. But we have a bit of the challenge too. It's been a dry on this side of the United States, here west of the Rockies, so to speak, Sierra Nevada and California. Anyway, enough about snow and precipitation. We hope you're getting ready to blossom into spring wherever you are. We do these training sessions so that we can elevate your skill, so that we can be a resource to help you better, win that battle. It's all about generating leads. That's what it's all about, generating leads for buyers or even better sellers. I know that's the big topic, is like, how do I attract sellers? That seems to be, if you're on the selling side of a transaction, you're driving the bus. If you're on the buyer side, you're sitting in the back seats waiting for something to happen. And so it's always better to be a seller's agent than a buyer's agent. But we'll take both, right? Generating a listing generates a seller's close side to close as a seller, representing the seller. Should always, what I learned from my trainers and the best in the business in real estate is every time you take a listing, you should generate 3 closed sides closed. The one side of the seller you represent, and the 2 buyers sides that people that were interested. The having the listing is the bait, right? That's the bait that will generate buyers as well. Some realtors have become so successful that they have a big enough team that they generate enough leads from their listings, and they just pass them down to their agents underneath them. But I've seen a lot of people not give it proper value that a buyer's lead should have. They might not buy that house that they come to the open house to, but if you can capture them and say, hey, this might not be the house, but I am the realtor for you. Let's see how I can help. So anyway, RealBird is a tool that's been around for, quite a few years, and I think 15 years, is it? And it's been a tool that's been constantly changing and adapting to give you, the agent, the best chance to win at selling and helping people buy. And just a quick overview. Some of you, I believe most of you are with to have a RealBird Pro account, and that you have the ability to be able to do these things, what I'm showing you. Basically, create as many single property websites with your listings as you can. And my tip, you might have heard me before, but add your listings to your RealBird account, and don't just add them in the status of active. If you've been in real estate for a while, go ahead and go ahead and put your sold listings in there. And I had a question about that last week. Someone said, hey, how do I add the sold listing? Well, you would go into RealBird and click on listing marketing, and you click add new. And she said, hey, well, it says add new. It's not new. It's an old listing. I want to mark as sold. That's okay. Just still click here, add new for sale. And then when you create those listings, You put some. You don't have to put all the same information. You don't have to put the MLS. You don't have to put the description says, "Be careful of the Rottweiler," in the back door. Because obviously that you're not really marketing that listing. Again, it's sold, but what you're marketing is your ability to market to homes. And as real estate agents, you are premier professional marketers. Just market sold, put a little bit of detail, and then put the address, price if you want to. Not if it was a long time ago. As if it's in California, like where Gabe lives, that price is probably up 20% since you sold the house 3-4 years ago. So you don't have to put a list price. You don't have to put an MLS, but put a little description. I usually put beds, baths, square feet, and a description of property. At least one picture. Do at least one picture, a small description, but not with directions on how to get there. The open houses on Friday afternoon. But use that there. And when you do that, what it does is starts to create a resume, a sold success resume portfolio, if you would. And then you have the ability to be able to show that. Here, let me show you here. So you have the ability to be able to show that and show you sold listings. And I think that's really important to show what you've sold. I really do. I think that's really important to be able to do that. Let me show you. So take your listings, make sure you are loading them, even if you might be new to RealBird, but you're not new to real estate. Go ahead, some of those past sales, and put them in there, and it creates single property websites. And the beauty of that is with RealBird is each one of those successes that you have it creates a single property website that has a life of its own and travels the internet and with your information and your success. And not only that, but if you do it right, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay?
yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Don't know what happened. I got some good bandwidth. I should be fine.
Okay.
Thanks for being patient, everybody. What I was showing you is every single property website you create in RealBird is basically, I don't know what to say, rubber stamp. It's basically another application of who you are and what you do. And you have the opportunity in these single property websites to customize pages. So, for example, this is for Susan. I have her testimonials. So every one of her single property websites is sharing her testimonials everywhere about her, profile about her. And we're going to talk about SEO today and why the words that you talk about yourself and what you do and how you do it and how you're different is huge. That's your way to be unique so that you can be found by those looking for what you have to offer. Now, this happens to be a map that I created inside her RealBird account. I use it. Hey, you want to list with Susan? These are some of the homes she's represented. And you see, she obviously her area is State College, PA. There's Penn in the middle. Everything kind of revolves around the Penn State University there. But if you want to list or sell a home, she's your gal, and this shows that.
Hey, Eric.
And
Eric.
Yes.
Somebody wants to speak. I don't know if you see that.
Okay. Yeah, I see a hand raised. Yep.
Yeah. Just enable him there.
Okay. Hello,
Lloyd. Hello, Lloyd.
It should be.
Maybe his microphone doesn't work. If you have a question, why don't you type it in the chat box? Maybe that's easier. Your microphone probably doesn't work.
Yeah, Lloyd. It might not be configured to work. So I feel this is really important to be able to, we're talking about creating content. This content shows by Susan Rupert putting all her listings in here, and then of course they go to active for pending to sold status. This is who she is, what she does, and how she does it. Okay, so there's new tools available. There's a new virtual tour, unbranded version that you can add to the MLS if you put your listings in there. There's new landing pages now. They're just awesome. It's just really, really cool. RealBirds make it easier to be up here. I'm going to search for one here. Active. So there's all these great tools that you can create. Like, for example, this is a listing that she's had for a little bit, but say, for example, click hot property landing page. And this is what it creates. It takes an image from the photo gallery that you've added to the listing, and it takes the first one and it says, hey, homes in this market move fast, schedule an appointment before bidding starts. So I happen to pick hot property, and it filled in the rest of the information. Now Susan has the SMS marketing. So so it automatically adds the SMS that she set up. This is an add-on that you can do for RealBird. Never costs more than $3 a month. And so, rather than just giving them all the information about this property, they got to fill in the information. And then you can also take this and you can share it inside Facebook, which is really cool. And it doesn't give them all the information, which I don't think you ever should, because you want to engage the people, not just have them peruse and view. Okay, so you can share that in your Facebook page and boost it or create an ad pointing to it. So it's a great opportunity. Newer tools that RealBird's created to help you, buy and sell homes. Okay, so the other part, that's the listing publisher. That's the part you'll find when you go on your RealBird account and under listing marketing. Okay, and don't be afraid, like I say, to put your solds in there. Okay, there's also a property search that's available that's can be connected to all your listings. Now, is this a regular IDX search? No, but it is a source, a database of homes for sale that that RealBird has brought into your tools so that people can search for nearby homes. Let me go back to that property here. And let's go and pull up the single property website. There we go. You're going to see that there's nearby homes here. Do you see that? Nearby homes. And that's going to show. Now, this is kind of a sparsely populated area. There's a lot going on, but because it's a sale for a lot. But if I go out, it'll search. You'll see more properties, and these other properties won't necessarily be yours, but there'll be listings that are in the database that will be branded by you. So here's a home. This is not Susan's listing, but this tool goes along with that. Okay, and so you want to contact her. This listing is now branded by her. So that's one of the tools that's available, and that's the property search, and that's sourced by Oodle and RealBird. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I just wanted to give that little bit of overview there, and I want to dive into our topic today, and I want to talk a bit about it. And I have a different perspective. I, as a web marketer for real estate agents, been doing this year 20 years, long time. And things have changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's constantly changing, so much so that a lot of realtors get frustrated because they talk about search engine optimization, SEO. If you heard that term, it's like, oh my gosh, that's like overwhelming. I can't even think about that. I would share with you that number one, don't be overwhelmed. Number two, be curious and continue to learn about how things are changing. For example, I'll give you an example. Search. One of the things that's changing here. I got a stat here. Maybe I can pull up here and show this to you. Let's see. Can you see that, Gabe? So, did I lose you, Gabe? Hope I didn't lose you again. Okay. Maybe I lost Gabe. So the idea is what I was showing you is basically 20% of searches that are happening in Google are happening with voice. So how powerful is that? It's the people who aren't just typing in keywords they're looking for. They're doing it by voice with their mobile phone, with their phone. And they're typing in and they can search. I know I have a phone, it's an iPhone, but I can go and turn on my Google search and I can just say, I'm looking for a local restaurant, Chinese restaurant in Payson, Utah, and it'll come up with options. So some of your options are there. 20% of them now having a voice. That's how things change. And the key is we want you to be successful. All right. Okay, so what is it? What is SEO? SEO is the secret of being found online, or knowing what folks are looking for and finding a way to show that you are the one with their solutions, what they're looking for. Okay, so where can you be found? You can be found on these search engines here: Google, Bing, Facebook, Yahoo. Facebook has its own built-in search engine that is powerful as well. Is it Google? No, but within Facebook, the Facebook world is huge. Billions of people, are on Facebook. I think it's definitely over 1 billion now. So in a way, they have their own internal search engine. So,
Eric, can I just interject?
Yes.
So my view is this of this being found. It's like in real life. If I want to meet you and I'm in the same place where you are, where I can see you or see something about you, then there's a good possibility that I can connect with you, right? So let's say I'm on the street and you just happen to walk by and you have this big panel. I'm a real estate agent. I buy or sell houses and I'm in that market. Well, then there's a good chance, at least there is a chance that I'm going to meet you. That's one thing. The other thing is I don't meet you, but I get an advertising from you, or I hear on the radio about you, or somebody tells me, so a friend through some network. Well, then I may also contact you, right? It's by analogy online. If you have a presence, let's say on Active Rain, and I go there, then there's a good chance I'm going to find you. If you don't have a presence on Active Rain, the only way I'm gonna or on some other places where I go or where I happen to follow what I let's say LinkedIn or Google searches and so on, then I have to find you through some other means and some indirect means, and that is where SEO comes in. That is, okay, let's say I got the job at Google here in Mountain View, and I'm in India, and I want to look for an apartment. Well, what do I type in, and where do you come up in that sense, so that you can get me as a client to go around and find a house for me, right, or an apartment. And so that's why SEO is important. That's an alternative way of actually meeting somebody virtually. Exactly, if I find your website, obviously, if you email me your website, then I can go, and I don't need SEO because you already emailed me the website or somebody referred it to me. But SEO is important for this indirect way of meeting online, and that's where these keywords and ranking and content and all this stuff comes to the market. The other important part is not just being found, but communicating to somebody within their short attention span, because everybody has short attention span, that why they should talk to you, right? And a lot of agents make the mistake that I see, that is, they talk about listings and lots of pictures and this and that and crime statistics, but in reality, I'm interested in the lead generation phase, who you are, and if you're an adequate or a good enough agent for me to connect with you and see if we can work together.
I sometimes use the Dewey Decimal System as an example. You have a great book and you read it and you know it well, and you go submit that book to the library. You give that book to the library. The library looks at that book, the content that's in it, so it knows where to put it in the library, right? So that the Dewey Decimal System, maybe 535.7, a long time probably since most of us have been in public libraries, maybe others not. But think about when someone else comes into that library and wants that information, they have the Dewey Decimal System, and I'll tell them where it is. And to me, that's what SEO is. It's the Dewey Decimal System, but for content online. So you need to know, these are some things you need to know. You need to know what keywords and phrases do you want to be known for. You can't be an expert in everything. Just like I have people come to me, I build websites and coach real estate agents in online marketing, and I'll have people come to me. I'm a lawyer. My clients have referred me, hey, I have a lawyer that needs the same tools that you help me out with, as a real estate agent, and I'll turn them down because of my niches. I help real estate agents. Been doing it for 20 years. I enjoy it. I'm good at it. So I know what I'm good at. I know what a list of my keywords that I would use in bringing more people to me because I've researched that and I know that. Well, you have to do some research on your own. And there really is a lot of power in creating content for your website or articles or blog posts on your website and your listings. Believe it or not, your listings are content. That's why it's so powerful. Why I talked about, putting a single property website together and then never really turning it off. Yes, it's sold. Someone's not going to make an offer on that house, but at least it shows what you've done. These are all indexed. When you put listings, create listings out of RealBird, they get picked up in the search engines. I've actually had RealBird clients that have launched their listings in RealBird ahead of putting them in the MLS, creating a video, and showing at the top of the search engines for that address of that home or for that geographical location. So it can be done, and RealBird is a very powerful tool to help do that. Okay, so where can you and your expert be found? I talked already about Google, Bing, Facebook, Yahoo. No, I would tell you that probably in the order, probably this is Google's number one. Believe it or not, Facebook is bigger than Bing, and then Yahoo. Yahoo's been around a long while, but it's kind of stumbled over itself. But definitely people. I mean, I'll put AOL in there too, because a lot of people are still on AOL, and they live their window to the internet is through AOL. Some of you might be that. We'll talk a little bit about this. So, my question is I always work like I want as many things turned on, switches turned on your behalf. I play the organ in church. Okay, you have stops, right? Every stop you play makes the pull out. In the physical, you pull on the tab out, makes the organ more powerful. Plays more voices. And to me, this is like, is your organ? Are you pulling out all the stops? Have you used every opportunity that's out there to get your profile on? That is who you are, your name of your company, your contact information, your website address, your reviews. All those things build a persona of who you are. Many people don't know this. When you go into Google and you search for Google, Google is trying to put together different parts of your profile and will actually put a profile up for you, and it's going to gather parts that it finds. What's it going to find? So this is where you have a chance to really take advantage of the places where you can have your profile and make sure they're correct. I can't tell you how many realtors I start to work with, and I find out that on Facebook, they have their business name or their business page, but then I'll go and find on Google and I'll find them, Coldwell Banker, profile of them, and they're like, oh my gosh, that was before I was at Keller Williams, and now I'm on my own. It's amazing. A lot of times you have to search for yourself. Go on the website and search for yourself and find out where you are and take control of those profiles online. I didn't put Yelp on here. I did put Yelp on here. There's a lot of different places that you can have reviews. Reviews speak huge for people that maybe they don't trust you directly, but when they hear something about a third-party confirmation for somebody that's worked with you and has great experience, that's huge. That speaks more than you talking to them because they're going to trust it more. So in my opinion, the best place to have your reviews and to request reviews for are Zillow, which of course, if you ask them Zillow, they'll still need to go, your past clients will still need to go create a Zillow account. They don't have to say exactly who their name is so that it goes public, but they submit a review, and hopefully it's been a 5-star review, because if you ask someone to review you on Zillow, they create an account and it gets approved and it's a 1-star, that's not going to help you. It happens though, even with the best realtors, it happens. And what I tell my realtor clients is, hey, just make sure you're getting plenty of good reviews to stuff down the one, fly in the ointment, so to speak. And now I've had also realtors say that they've had people review them. It's like they don't even know them. Zillow does have a way that they go in and confirm that person did own the house that you represent or that you sold. So that's the best place to have reviews, okay? I would say the second place to have reviews is on your business page on Facebook. Now you can receive reviews in YouTube, LinkedIn, which is kind of like a business-to-business directory of businesses. I'm actually really deep in here. I've got probably 31 reviews in LinkedIn for my services, what I provide. I've written 31. I've gotten 21. So always return the favor if you can. Google, you can get reviews on your Google Plus or local page. Realtor.com, you can get reviews and recommendations here. Here's a place you can actually add. They have a review section and they have recommendation section. I can spell recommendations fast. Okay, so okay, these ones you can add yourself. Reviews you can ask people to review you, but recommendations you can add yourself for people to see connected to your profile. Reviews on Yelp are powerful if you can play their game. It's a bit of like extortion, or I'll put blackmail. I mean, that sounds kind of harsh, but basically, okay. So a realtor had that I know, Noel Kreider. She's in Auburn, California, and she has probably 15 or 16 reviews on Yelp. Yelp doesn't always show your reviews. Sometimes it'll hide them. But last year she got 5 closings from the people that saw her review on Yelp. So it can be done. It's just, as you start to get reviews, they're going to come and ask you, hey, we want to uncover more of the reviews. We'd like you to become a Yelp business account, which could be as much as $100, $200 a month. So anyway, just be aware of that you have to. I know maybe that's harsh. Maybe I'll erase that. That's kind of harsh, but it feels like extortion. For example, I think on Yelp, Noel Kreider has like 15 reviews, but they only show 5 of them. And it's like, why didn't they show the other ones? Well, I found out that basically, if that person's not reviewing, if that person isn't reviewing, they might have reviewed you, gave you a 5-star, but if they're not reviewing other things, if they're not active in Yelp reviewing restaurants and other services, Yelp might bury that profile. Okay, just to let you know, that's a little bit how it goes. Okay, Homes.com is, you can get a free profile there. You don't have to pay them the $80, $100 a month that they want to feature your listings in their database. They used to be a lot bigger, more popular than they are now. But you can set up a free profile there and have reviews. Okay, RealBird, your reviews in your RealBird are connected. Let me show you where to go and get that, because I think a lot of people look for that. So I'm inside RealBird account, and I'm going to listing marketing, and I'm going to okay. Let me see here. What am I doing? Profile. I can't believe I'm missing this, Gabe. Okay, global settings. There, I knew it was just down the second line. So under global settings, you have extra pages that get built and connected to every single one of your listings that you, and whether they're active, pending, or sold. So I use these for, like, example, testimonials, so they can see testimonials of Susan's. Those travel the world, the internet. She probably has 150 property websites. Every one of those have her listings on it. I need to update there because some old ones. She has lots of new ones. Okay, so back to reviews. Okay. All right. So make sure you're in these places, and that you, where possible, that you have dolled up that profile to where it accurately represents who you are and what you do. No old phone numbers. No old brokerages don't work for anymore. Every one of these is living live on the internet. Every one of these is a website that gets seen, and make sure that you're taking advantage of them, and that you look good in all those places, and that your brand is consistent. There's different parts of your brand. So, okay. So you need to know what your niche is. What are you good at? What are you successful at? What do you want more of? You need to think about that. So unify your profiles, where you found, you look the same everywhere. That's your brand. Have a niche. Be an expert. Don't just say, hey, I do real estate in Oceanside, California. That's not specific enough. And you might say, well, I don't want to get too niche down because I might not get enough business. But it actually works in the opposite way. Let me jump over here and I'll jump back. Okay, so some say that Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com, they kind of own all the top real estate keywords. They sit at the top of the search engines. Not always true. Let's do a quick search. Here we go. So I searched Oceanside. This is where I used to live. Moved here. Now in snowy northern Utah, but I used to live by the palm trees there by the beach. Oceanside, California, homes for sale. So I'm looking for that. Now I want to show you. Let's see. Let's go from here up. These people, these websites, Taylor Morrison, they're like brand new home sales. Anyways, these are ones that see the ad. That means they're paying for what's pay-per-click, which means if I click any one of these, I think the going rate's probably for this keyword search for these keywords because you pay these people that were here that said ad next to them. They're paying to be here. Okay. And this probably going rate for this set of key phrases, set of keyword phrase or keywords is about 180 to 250 a click. So if I click on any of these, I just ran their credit card for, $2 for each click. Make sure if you're going to do pay-per-click, make sure you have a phone number in there so people can call you. In a way, these people have wasted a bit of their time because if people see your phone number and they call you, okay, right in this area, you just saved them clicking, but you still got the exposure. Think about that. So if you have a phone number here and you go, oh, let me pick up the phone and call. But once you click, that's when it costs you. Okay, so these people paid to be here, right? Yeah, Zip Realty is really big in Southern California. Okay, so these people paid. Okay, now down here, according to Google, because I'm searching in Google, I can search other search engines too, but I'm searching in Google. These are organic searches. That means Google basically feels that they earned that spot to be in these top organic positions because they feel they provide enough content and information to be the authority for those keywords, Oceanside, CA, homes for sale. Okay, so I see many people say, oh, I can come to the top of the search engine, but then you look at the 8 words they strung together that are rather unique, and it might be really easy to come up in that top of that search. But are people looking for that? So, and that's going to be important to know what they're looking for and what you want to be known for. Okay, so these people down here earn that spot. Now, obviously, we want to come up here, but it's really hard. I see some people, there's homes.com. I'm trying to see if anybody individual has risen to the top here. Not really. These are all Realtor.com and Trulia, which is the same as Zillow. Movado, which used to be a partner of RealBird. Homes.com, Remax, Zip Realty. Oh, here's one. Dreamwell Homes. Okay, there's someone that's earned a spot. That's not just a directory site with homes for sale. So, here's what's interesting. Peacock Hills is a really nice 55 plus active community in Oceanside, and a lot of people are looking for that niche. Well, guess what? They were able with these keywords to earn that spot based on the content they created here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So that's what you want to do. It's like, how do you do battle with that? How do you get your position like at the first page? You want to be on first page. Found on second page, it's not really going to happen. Okay, so this is Dreamwell Homes, and see they're being very descriptive about, and this is how you can do it. And I'm glad I was able to find this link. Okay, Google thinks of them. Okay, so Google thinks of these folks as real estate experts because they have content and they pay for clicks. In other words, they don't just take for granted that they have a lot of content that Google likes and that puts them at the top. They're also willing to pay. To be included in there. They don't take it for granted. They're not stupid. That's why, like Zip Realty's paying here. They don't really need to, but they do. Okay, let me back there because I thought that was a good example. Okay. All right. So, by the way, this is how many pages are on Zillow of content. 4 million. Realtor.com, believe it or not, it's double that, 8 million. But I still tell you that more people visit Zillow than Realtor.com. That's just the way it is. Zillow has become synonymous with I got to look for a home. Zillow. That's just the way it is. I know you might grit your teeth and your blood might boil, but that's what it is. And I have a lot of my clients that say I don't want to do anything with Zillow, and I'm like, you're missing out. They're going to exploit you. Zillow's going to exploit you. Look what you're putting your listings in the MLS. The MLS is giving them to Zillow, and they're using them to sell exposure within their database. So they're already exploiting you. And my tip, my consulting coaching tip that I give to my clients is exploit them back. Use your profile in there. Get some profiles. Susan Rupert, she's my. Thank you, Sue, for being the guinea pig. I show her off a lot. She's got 93 reviews. There's nobody else in her marketplace that shows up in Zillow that's not a team. She's pretty much not a team. She's on her own. But obviously I help her. She's a premier agent, but she had started getting reviews about 5 years ago. And I always challenge my real estate clients to basically use the tool for free until it pays for itself. And in the way that it has done that. But her first year or two, she got 5 and 6 sales out of people just seeing her reviews, even before she became a premier agent. Now she's a premier agent, basically to stay in the rankings in her area. That's not really the best way to do it, but Zillow sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But having your reviews here works. People see these reviews, and they look at them and they respond to them. They're, hey, I read your reviews and I look like you can help me. By the way, when you do ask for reviews on Zillow and they get approved and they show up, they'll let you know. Always jump in there that day and go in there. You have the opportunity to go in there and respond to that comment, because all this is, guess what? SEO. This is all content on a website that's not yours that gets read and indexed and can be found. Okay. So always have a response. This doesn't cost anything to do it, just a little time and attention. Please do that. It's worth it. So Zillow and these top real estate, with the really directory sites, they're not really real estate sites. They are real estate sites, but they're more directory sites. They may own the area, the state, the county, city, and town level of search, but they are being known down to the community neighborhood level soon. That's happening fast, literally by the week and by the month. They're getting better known, down in Peacock Hills, like I showed you, that 55 community in Oceanside under the keywords Oceanside Homes for Sale, CA Homes for Sale. But that's your best chance to be found. So you have to really identify, what is your local niche? Are you the local expert? What can you say about the area that Google can't? That Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com can't. Take the time to figure out what that is, and then you have the ability to be able to find the keywords that would match what you do, and then you need to create content on your website. And a great example, show great examples of this is one of RealBird clients. His name's Doug Buens. He's in the Pleasanton, California area. That's kind of like by not too far, terribly far, kind of East Bay of San Francisco. And he does a great job. Look at on this website. These are the areas that he specializes in, and he's created a neighborhood guide for each one of these areas so that he can show you that he's the expert in that. In other words, he's created content. Look at this. Explore the neighborhoods of Pleasanton. He's done an interactive map to show all the different subdivisions. This is a very sought after area. These homes, average sale price, I think it's about 1.2, 1.4. Expensive. The Bay Area is expensive, but he has an interactive map, and you can click on that map and see what's for sale in Birdland, Pleasant Valley, Birdland. Does this take time to create this type of content? Look at that. He has all pages created for all of the areas, drilled down to the neighborhood and what's unique about them. Here, I'll click on Carrots Gardens, and he's even got a map view of the area. You want to drive that neighborhood? He's built in this. He's built in so you can actually drive the neighborhood. How cool is that? Here's the two different subdivisions within that area. He's got a video of the area. Here's the homes for sale. The schools available, what's unique about it. You want floor plans for these subdivisions. This is powerful information. And by the way, there's no homes for sale in that area. There's some pending and sold, I'm sure. So you might say, wow, that's a lot of work. But I'm going to tell you, this is the stuff that that Zillow or Realtor.com is not doing. And you might say, hey, can you be an expert in that many subdivisions? Well, looking at this content from a Google standpoint, because Google's the robot, right? Google's the robot, and basically when it sees this content and sees that he's sharing, expertise, he's sharing information that's informational. So people don't realize this. That basically, let me go back to this. Google doesn't really create content. I know they have maps and some profiles for you, but basically, Google doesn't really create content. If Google doesn't have content, Google is nothing. So in a way, it's called what I call partnering with Google. So by you partnering, partnering means that you create content that Google needs, because people are asking questions. Did you know that more than 50% of the things that people type in a Google box are questions? You know, how much do houses in Oceanside cost? I just threw a question out there. There we go. See, notice I'm looking at the suggestions. By the way, that's a great tool they're giving you to kind of steer you to what people are asking for. And that's one of the tips we need to learn today is how do we find the right keywords to find out what people are looking for? I might say, hey, I think they're looking for this. But as a realtor, you have to kind of take your realtor hat off when you're searching for the words that you want to be found by and have someone suggest to you what people are already asking. Okay, so the people are asking this question: how much are houses in Oceanside, California? See, homes for sale. Look at that by analyzing information. And you might say, hey, well, this isn't a good result. But if people are asking that question, they're asking these other questions too. Always look down here. These are some of the other things that they've also asked for. Maybe those same type of people are looking for this. So would you wouldn't you want to be found with those keywords? Yes, you would. So, but knowing what they use is really important. So Google doesn't really have any content. It's really, Google has to count on somebody else creating content so it can index it and make it easy to be connected with the people that are looking for that information. That's how it works. And so knowing that, I think it's really powerful. I think some people miss the boat and they're not understanding that, but it really comes down to they need content. If they don't have your content, they don't have anything. Yes, people are paying to jump in front of what's organically found, but I'm going to tell you, people, it's twice the chance that people, when they do search for something, are going to click on the organic search over the ad. And they used to make this bigger, so it really looked bigger, like you knew these people were paying for it. It used to be a big yellow tab next to this. Now you can barely see it because they're trying to elevate. This right in this area. And one of the main reasons why they changed this to be a little more discreet, so that you'll click on the paying ones, not click on the information that Google's showing you for free in the organic, because they make money here. They don't make money here. Okay, they make money in these ads. It's because the biggest deal I think is changes because of Facebook. Facebook, I do marketing for my agents and I market their listings, their websites, and help them with their Facebook profile and tie all the marketing pieces together. And I've had a lot of great success in getting connected with ads in Facebook that are making them money. In other words, I might go. I talked already about how much it costs to use keywords. For example, like I know a lot of the Oceanside real estate keywords searches that people might look for. By the way, it's suggesting here what people are looking for. Okay, and so that always pay attention to that when you're doing some research, because it'll give you some ideas of what they're real. You might say, hey, I think they're looking for this, and they're going to say, hey, well, this is probably, you need to look at this too, like Oceanside beach homes for sale. Anyway, so my point is, I can create an ad like this is something I do to clients. I use the RealBird, and for a listing, I obviously don't put it on my page. I put it on their page. So let me see. Might as well post this so you can see it. There we go. Susan Rupert. This is her listing. Okay. Anyway, so I've been able to get clicks as little as 10, 12, 15, 20, 30 cents. I think the most 49 cents a click. Where if you were to pay to jump in front of these people in Google, no way you're going to get a lead or a click through for that little of money. It's usually 80 cents, $1, $1.50, $2, $3. And there is, like, say where Gabe is in the Bay Area, search for South San Francisco homes for sale. That's going to be like $4 to $6 a click, what you're going to pay for. And so you could do a lot in Facebook. Is it the same audience as what people would find in Google? No, it's not. But you can have more targeted. If I place a pay-per-click ad to get people to click on what I want to offer them, you can decide like local or national, and I think mobile's in there too, and desktop. but that's about it. Well, in Facebook, I have literally, I think it's like 200 differentiation. I call it the audience cafeteria, meaning that I can create an ad for a listing or a home search for a client in Facebook. And as long as they're active in Facebook, that's a key is, yes, you can have your business side of your Facebook business page, but you also on your personal side need to be busy, sharing with your friends and things like that. Not necessarily about, hey, come buy a house in real estate, talking about your day in the life of a real estate agent. But that audience you build within your personal side of your Facebook actually affects how large your audience is to choose from to create this audience cafeteria. It means I want, let me give an example. This is a listing that Doug has in, this is a listing. This house is absolutely incredible in Sunol, and this is a $3.2 million home. And if you look at that home, it's like, so he posted a Facebook ad in there, and he said one of the criteria he put is net worth of $1 million plus. If you don't have a net worth of $1 million plus, you're probably not going to buy the house. Well, those are some of the, that's one of the many ways you can select from your audience cafeteria so that you're spending your money and put it in front of people that could actually buy that house. Yeah, here's the listing here, just incredible. So Facebook is a great place to spend money and to market your business. It's just a great way. Look, posting video. By the way, video is huge. I can't tell you, this is the hardest thing to get my realtors that I consult with to do is to use video. The ones that are doing video, they're doing awesome, like Doug. He's doing video, not only of his listings, but of him sharing his expertise in his Facebook page. He's got, he's sharing like the latest market stats, and because he wants to be the expert. He wants to be the expert in his area. So he is. Let me show video. Yeah, they show his posts and later his videos. He shows like a market update, of what's going on, and people don't realize now. This is Facebook in Facebook. So this is huge. If the agents that are doing this are really dominating, and I know a lot of you might say, hey, I'm not ready for video yet. This face isn't ready for video, or I don't like my hairline or whatever. It doesn't matter. It really, you have to get over yourself and leverage video. And you put that video on YouTube, put it in Facebook, and guess what? The search engines pick that up. They pick up video. Believe me, if there was video to talk about oceanside beach homes for sale in this market, it would show up here near the top.
Eric, it's not just that, but if I have a house to sell for anything over $500,000, I would expect an agent to do a video about it, right? Because YouTube and all this stuff, and everybody likes video. Now, if I don't see that, if I find agent X and I see that agent, none of his listings has videos, I'm not sure I even want to talk to that agent about listing my house, right? So getting a listing, which as you started at the beginning, you said that's an important thing to do, and I fully agree because that that's actually what you have on your resume most telling about your expertise, right? If you have just one active listing, if I find an active listing on Zillow or on Craigslist or anywhere, sure, if I'm interested to buy the house, I'll buy the house, but it's not going to tell me anything about you as an agent if I want to work with you as a buyer or a seller. But if I see that you sold, 10 listings in whatever my house resembles to, and they all have videos and they're really nicely done and, that kind of stuff, good content, well, I'm much more likely to talk to you than somebody else who doesn't.
Now, I realize I'm sharing a lot. Thank you, Gabe. I'm sharing a lot of tips, and I'm trying to do an overview. We have 55 minutes together, and I'm trying to share the best of what I learned to increase the chances or elevate your game, so that you can use the content that you create to help connect the people that you want to help and that you can help. I'm going to share with you, your website. All these things build a profile of who you are. Make sure they are you. There's another thing. I know a lot of you use Gmail. I use Gmail still too, but I'm going to tell you, use an email that you can tie into your Gmail, but have it be domain based. In other words, that you're promoting your website every time you send email out. Here's Susan at statecollegerealestate.com. Every time you email that, people can be able to click on that. Yes, it's her email, but it also shows where her business is at statecollegeparealestate.com. So, I've also talked about your business profiles. I talked about that earlier, but make sure there's a thing called citations, and citation is basically a building block of your profile that online websites use to identify who you are and put you in the proper place so you get found. So make sure your citations, that is examples or elements of your profile, are the same. We talked about that already. But your name, your business address, your phone number, be consistent. Oh, by the way, no, I don't. Realtor at AOL.com is really no help for you. And it shows you that you're a dated agent that's stuck in about the technology level of about 15 years ago. Okay, don't do that. Get rid of the AOL. If you need to, you can point another domain name to that and use your AOL as your email manager. So how do you get that? How do you find the best keywords? That's this point I shared. Video is profitable, worth your time, consumed first and more often, and indexed more often too. And Google loves video. People consume video faster. Okay. So here's if you have a Gmail account, you can create a Google AdWords account, and in that they have a keyword planner that'll help you. I don't want to get too in depth with that because it gets a little hard to be able to explain how to use it. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that show you how to use it. But basically, you can make suggestions, and then it'll make suggestions as well. It's kind of a short way I'm doing this here. So I'm searching for Ocean Beach homes for sale. I would pay attention to everything else that they're saying here that might apply to these keywords, and I would save those, and I would use them in my content. See 9205, that's a zip code in Oceanside next to the beach. See, so I would pay attention to that. Here's your competition, but also pay attention to related searches. These are called semantic searches. These are like if you've ever been on Amazon and you bought something on Amazon, you bought a book, and it'll say, hey, well, the other people that have bought this book also bought this book. And it'll make suggestions. It's like it's smart, right? So pay attention to these here, and also when the keywords. You got to start with something. You got to prime the pump somehow. You got to start with some keywords. Here's interesting here, Oceanside, California. Guess what? There's an Oceanside in New York and New Jersey. How come it doesn't say anything there? It's because my computer was from Oceanside. So in a way, this is reflected basically on my past history by using this computer before. And you can do it differently. You can, you can do what's called incognito or private window. You can do that. And that's actually probably a little better way to do that, because when you do search, your search is influenced by where you've been before. I've had many agents go and they say, I'm at the top of the search engine. Look what I've searched for my homes, my cities, and I'm right at the top. That's awesome. And I hope I stay there. And then I said, okay, well, did you use a private a browser? And they said no. I said that means it was Google wants you to have a good experience and go quickly back to where you were before, and that's why it remembers your history. And then if you don't search using the incognito, it's going to be influenced by where you've been before. So just be aware of that. If you go, Firefox, most of them have here. You go new private window. I think Google Chrome does what's called, here, let me pop it up. You guys have been a great crowd with our technical difficulties we had where it went off the air, so I appreciate you being patient. So yeah, I'd want to log out of there, which I don't, it'll shut all my things, but then right here, you'll see what it says, new incognito window. The same thing in Safari browser or Edge, or if some of you still on the Internet Explorer. So gather these keywords. That's a quick, dirty way to do it. And make suggestions in here for your top areas that you work with. Here's also a great tool. Lori Ballin, she's a very successful agent in the Vegas area, and she does coaching and consulting for real estate agents, marketing. She put this really cool thing on her site that shows you, here's 365 entries of some of the best keywords. This is how many times these phrases are searched a month. And this is a great resource. I mean, a great place to start. So understand that you need to partner with the search engines. They need you as much as you need them. And don't be intimidated by the Zillow, the Trulia, Realtor.com. You have something that's unique and different. I got to convince you of that. And you have to create content, create articles, preferably with video, definitely with images, so that you could be the expert in that area that you're looking for. Okay. So thanks to everybody for coming to our webinar here today. Hopefully you learned something. I know I gave kind of a broad overview, but I'm hopefully guiding you through what you need to do, and definitely use up your RealBird as much as possible. Fill out your profile, add those extra pages that I talked about, because each one of those listings is going to go out there, and it's going to have a chance to promote you and who you are and what you do. Gabe.
Well, have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you for coming to the webinar. The recording will be on YouTube, and actually you can subscribe to our channel there if you're interested, and then you get automatically the new recordings alerts in case you miss a webinar. And if you have questions, call us.
Great. Thanks, everybody. We'd love to hear from you again. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.